In a perfect suburban neighborhood, darkness hides behind manicured lawns. And when your little sister is threatened, an ordinary home turns into a battlefield of family, fury, and justice. I was driving home when my phone rang. FaceTime flashing a name I hadn't expected. Princess. My little sister, who never called during the day. The second I saw her face, tears streaming, voice shaking, my stomach dropped. Brother, come home. They're hurting me. Her wheelchair was surrounded by two men in black, one gripping her handles, the other screaming inches from her face. Adrenaline took over. I slammed the accelerator, tires squealing as my car shot forward. But this nightmare had roots stretching back years. 2 years ago, we had moved into Briarwood Ridge, a posh gated community with beautiful homes and manicured lawns, yet from day one, HOA President Carla Charlotte had sneered at the accommodations made for Princess the wheelchair ramp. Medical deliveries, accessible pathways. This ruins the neighborhood's aesthetic, she had said. When I complained, she smirked and replied, "We decide what's right and what isn't." At first, there were just subtle intimidations, 2 HOA security men in tactical black uniforms with radios and walkie-talkies, never displaying ID or badge. Princess confided, "They watch me while I water my plants." I tolerated it, believing civility would prevail, but cruelty escalates in one direction only. That Thursday, I had gone to buy vegetables, while Princess tended her garden from her wheelchair, spraying the plants. 10 minutes later, the phone rang. The FaceTime window revealed 2 thugs around her, one slapping her cheek, leaving a bright red mark. My car tore down the street at 70 miles per hour, heart pounding as I saw her trembling, hands over her mouth. A thug sneered, "HOA business." "Step back, civilian," I whispered. "You have no idea whose sister you're threatening." Tires screeched. From the horizon, a black pickup flew toward the neighborhood. Doors barely closed before my twin brothers emerged. Elias, the sniper, with the Navy SEAL precision, cold and calculating. Caleb, the breacher, loud, destructive, unstoppable. A thin man aimed a pistol at Princess, her breath caught. Elias calmly lifted the weapon, voice icy, weapon down. Slowly, the thug fumbled. Caleb closed the distance, wrist twisted, slammed to the ground, pistol flying across the grass. Caleb's knee drove into the man's spine. The second thug pulled his weapon, trembling. Elias disarmed him with a snap, a knee to the back of the leg, dropping him instantly. 6 seconds, both down. One couldn't breathe, the other mouth scraping concrete. Caleb lifted the thin man by the collar, touched a disabled girl, aimed a gun at her. "Who sent you?" The man sobbed. Carla Charlotte told me to intimidate. Teach a lesson." Police sirens approached. The real authorities arrived, guns drawn, witnessing the aftermath, bruised faces, weapons, the fake badges, and a horrifying order marked compliance target, Princess. Both thugs arrested. Minutes later, Carla's shiny white SUV rolled in. Hair perfectly done, nails gleaming, arrogance radiating. "They're my employees. Release them." Caleb laughed, that dangerous grin. Sergeant Harlow snapped handcuffs. "Ms. Jennings, assaulting a disabled resident, impersonating law enforcement, conspiracy to kidnap, you're under arrest." Cuffed, she screamed, "This isn't over." Elias's cold whisper, "It's over for you." Princess wheeled between us, hands held by all 3 brothers, smiling through tears. "You are my world." Caleb tousled her hair. Elias placed a hand on her head. I patted her shoulder. 2 fake security men in the hospital, 1 corrupt HOA president in jail, the neighborhood freed from fear, for siblings stronger than ever. But the storm wasn't finished. In the distance, flashing lights signaled the arrival of the full raid force. Police vehicles flooding the streets, ready to dismantle the entire HOA operation. This was the moment justice became absolute. Sometimes justice doesn't knock politely. It storms in like a hurricane, shattering facades and exposing the rot beneath. Just as we thought the nightmare had ended, the neighborhood erupted in sirens and flashing lights. Police vehicles poured in from every direction. Blue and red reflections dancing across the manicured lawns, engines growling, tires skidding. The local precinct, the sheriff's department, and a special response team had arrived, transforming Briarwood Ridge into a battlefield. I watched from the driveway, heart pounding, as Elias and Caleb fell into formation alongside me, a trio prepared for the storm. The SRT leader, helmet in hand, approached Sergeant Harlow and with a curt nod said, "Target Carla Charlotte and her entire network. Secure all offices, seize all records, and shut down their communications. No exceptions." Radio crackled, all units breach ready. The calm authority in the voice was terrifying, deliberate. Seconds later, the neighborhood became chaos incarnate. 8 officers with shields advanced toward the HOA offices, while 3 snipers silently positioned themselves on rooftops. K-9 units barked and circled the perimeter as 2 officers cut the power, plunging the offices into abrupt darkness. Then, the doors exploded inward. Desks flipped, papers scattered like autumn leaves in the wind. 2 fake HOA guards were pinned immediately, hands behind their backs, mouths agape. The officers' voices cut through the night. "Get down. Hands where we can see them. One wrong move, and you're done." Sergeant Harlow strode in, eyes scanning, seizing computers, files, and surveillance footage. Officers uncovered folders labeled in horrifying clarity, "Princess Target File" and "Intimidation Orders." Alongside bank records tracing black budget payments and shell companies tied to Carla Charlotte, Elias picked up a manila folder, flipping it open. "Priority target, wheelchair resident. Pressure until compliance." My blood ran cold, but anger sharpened my focus. Caleb tightened his gloves, knuckles white. This is just the beginning of consequences. Outside, residents had gathered, mouths agape. Children gripping parents' hands, neighbors staring through windows. Their disbelief slowly transformed into relief and awe. Someone whispered, "Finally. Someone's making them pay." Every officer moved with precision, executing commands, clearing every room, every corner, securing evidence that would destroy Carla's empire. Within minutes, the offices were empty, captured, and the HOA network neutralized. Then, the moment of truth, Carla's white SUV had parked at the curb. Her expression, disbelief and fury, her personal empire crumbling around her. She exited, polished nails catching the strobe lights, hair perfect, and confidence as sharp as ever. But Sergeant Harlow stepped forward, handcuffs ready. Voice like steel, "Carla Charlotte. Assault on a disabled resident, impersonating law enforcement. Conspiracy, you are under arrest," she screamed. Protests futile as officers guided her to the vehicle. Elias's calm gaze met mine, and I knew this was complete. Caleb wheeled Princess toward us, her small hands gripping ours, a triumphant smile breaking through tears. "You saved me," she whispered, voice cracking. I patted her shoulder, Caleb tousled her hair. Elias placed a protective hand on her head. Behind us, the neighborhood breathed a collective sigh of relief. 2 fake security thugs were neutralized, their threats gone. 1 corrupt HOA president was now facing a lifetime behind bars. The streets, once silent under the oppressive shadow of intimidation, now shimmered with freedom. The neighbors began emerging, cautious at first, then cheering softly, waving tears in their eyes. For the first time in years, Briarwood Ridge felt safe. And for us, for siblings, bound tighter than ever by love and protection, it wasn't just about justice, it was about reclaiming our world. Princess's wheelchair rolled between us, the light of the setting sun catching the tears on her cheeks. "You are my world," she said again, and we all nodded, knowing we would always stand together. That night, under the floodlights of police cruisers and SRT trucks, the streets of our neighborhood were ours again, free from fear, and carved into memory as the day when a corrupt HOA empire crumbled and family triumphed. It was over, finally, and every siren that faded into the distance was a promise. No one would ever threaten Princess, or any neighbor, ever again.